Welcome to my channel, y'all. Welcome to my channel. I am married for 10 years, soon to be 11 years in September, celebrating our 11th year anniversary. So of course, my thoughts and opinions definitely come from my own experiences of being married. And my name is Deborah, so welcome here. I do reviews of Married at First Sight. I do individual videos for the couples, and I do the after party. And this video is for the after party. And for this after party, y'all, the people that were there were Kristen, Justin, and Stasha. I'm gonna say one thing about Justin. Justin looked really good on the after party, y'all. He had on, it was a bright suit, but he had on a three-piece suit. His haircut was real nice. And I don't want to throw no shade, but I'm telling you, this is probably the manliestness I've seen Justin look in a while. I even wonder if they were using a filter on Justin. I'm gonna really be honest, because I remember some earlier pictures of Justin, and I think he had a different sort of facial features. But now when I see Justin on the after party, I'm telling you, he looks quite a bit different. Sometimes these filters that they use on pictures and things like that, it can change the look of a person. And I've been noticing that Justin looks a little bit different now than he looked on some of the real earlier still photos and different things we saw in the beginning. I don't know, maybe it's the haircut, maybe it's the clothes he's deciding to wear, because this time he had on clothes before he was showing himself naked with no shirt on. I don't know, but he looked good. I thought, and everybody else looked good too. Sasha looked good, Kristen looked good as well. So the drink of the day was called Hair of the Dog. It was a weird name for a drink. The name of it, I didn't even like it. I was like, I don't want to drink no drink called the Hair of a Dog. But anyway, it was whiskey, honey, and cream. And so they drank up, and they started talking about the episode. Everybody was talking about how they're loving marriage right now. Kristen was saying she loving her marriage. Stasha was talking about how they loving her marriage. Justin, on the other hand, was saying he done run into a few problems. And at one time, Keisha and I Pulliam asked him, does he even think that marriage is going to last? And he says he doesn't think it's going to last. He even said at that moment in time, he wasn't thinking it's going to last. Now, that doesn't mean it didn't last. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. But he admitted that he wasn't too optimistic based on what was going on in the episode and how he was feeling in the moment. But he was saying they get back to a normal routine after being in La La Land on the honeymoon. And like we know, Alexis was talking about how great marriage is when they were in Mexico and La La Land. And then when she come back from the honeymoon to the real world, she's like, I can't handle this, I'm out. But, they asked Stasha what about the part about Nate saying, he's afraid, will Stasha be one person now, but then later on after decision day, will she turn into a whole other person? And Keisha and I asked her, how do you feel about him saying something like that? And Stasha said, you know what, it's a valid point. And she said it is a valid point. They're still getting to know each other. And she's saying that, for right now, every time she asks Nate a question, she feels as if the answer is surfacey. It sounds like she's complaining about the same thing that Alexis says. Nate is being vague. And so here's the problem, ladies. Is it you, or is it that you don't understand men? Women keep expecting men to be as expressive and to use as many words as women do. It's not going to happen unless you're with a gay man. See, this is the problem. A lot of women hang around gay men, watch gay men on TV, or look at them on Instagram, and then they wonder, well, why isn't my man like this gay man who's funny, outgoing, and uses a lot of words? Because a lot of men don't speak like that. And so Stasha's talking about Nate is so servicey. He doesn't open up. Ugh, I'm tired of women wanting men, but then saying they want their men to communicate like women. Get over it, ladies. So she starts asking Justin, do you share a lot about your marriage with Ben? And Justin said, I really don't share too much with Ben. It's mainly Ben sharing with me. So I guess that's a one-way street. I guess Justin doesn't tell Ben anything, which I don't think so, because he didn't even tell Ben when that dog bit Alexis's dog. Justin ain't telling none of his bad spots. He ain't even telling Alexis. Justin says, I'm not telling any stories that make me look bad. And so, of course, he ain't telling Ben, because he said he ain't even hardly telling Alexis. And so he said, but Ben talks to him more about, I guess, him and Morgan. And then Sasha said she don't share with nobody. She said, the only person I talk to about my marriage is my husband and my therapist. Let me tell you, Stasha is all transactional. She's like, no, we signed a non-disclosure agreements up in here. Stasha said, I'm involved. I don't talk to these people. That's why I don't think Stasha's close with any of these women, because I don't think Stasha opens up to them. And to be honest with you, Nate probably doesn't open up to them at all. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because one of the things Kristen did was that she talked bad about Mitch in the beginning, told all the girls everything Mitch was doing wrong. And now that Mitch has come around and she's liking Mitch, now you have women who are still side-eyeing Mitch. See, that's the problem. You forgive the guy, but you forget all the stuff you talked about him with, but your girlfriends don't forget. Now they're looking at it saying, wait a minute, you just told me all this stuff. Now you in La La Land and you want me to change my emotions like you just changed yours. Sometimes it doesn't happen. This is why you gotta be very careful who you badmouth your husband to. Because when you forgive him and you get past it, a lot of times your friends, they're not over it yet. But Kristen said she was feeling good that Mitch didn't judge her on her past engagement debacle. But I said in my video with Kristen and Mitch, Mitch don't care about that. In fact, he's happy because that makes you look normal. He said, you know, I'm a misfit, I've been rejected, and I'm glad to hear you've been rejected too. He said, now I ain't got to put you up on a pedestal. That's how I know Mitch felt, because Mitch got low self-esteem. So anything that can knock you down off a pedestal and make you come back down to earth where he lives, okay, he gonna love that story. It's when you elevate yourself and you look too great, he gonna feel uncomfortable and then he may not like you. Just like when he said he was turned on after he rejected her, he loved that kind of stuff. He likes when you are beaten down, and that means he ain't got such a big step to get to you. But she said Mitch got a lot of good qualities. He's hardworking. He brings her coffee every morning. That's what he's saying. He's doing all the right things, saying the right things. They humping like bunnies. They having a good time. She can't beat him off of them. You know, she's having a good time. But like I said in my video with them, you know, when she walking on eggshells, she's walking on eggshells and I'm sitting on pins and needles, because I'm waiting for the day when Kristen says no and asks something from herself and doesn't accommodate Mitch. How will he take it? Because right now, he's just a baby sitting up eating a bag of candy and a bunch of ice cream. Of course he's happy, because no one has told him no and put down that candy. He all up in it. They start talking about Lindy a little bit, how Lindy got all wild and crazy, and we call her feisty, fiery. That was a nice euphemism they put on it. I call it crazy. And they said, has anyone seen this crazy side? And we know what Sasha said, that, yeah, I've seen it, because we already know. I don't think Sasha and Lindy get along. And now that I know more about Lindy, where she's darn near homeless, because that's why she's all pressing Miguel about where I'm gonna live, a bank account, where the student loans. Remember I told you guys that Lindy was jealous of Stasha. And when she was all up in Nate's face talking about, you ought to be happy you get in the house, because Stasha was letting Nate move in her house, and Lindy was like, you hit the jackpot, you hit the jackpot, because that's what Lindy wanted. Now it's making sense. Lindy was the one that was getting jealous, because what she is, she wants that. She wished Stasha was her man, somebody making a lot of money with a brand new house that she could move in, because she over here P-I-M-P and Miguel. P-I-M-P Miguel, pimping Miguel. That's what she about to do to Miguel. But Stasha says she understands Lindy, the whole thing, taking the name. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't believe in this. You want a man to be traditional, to take care of you, provide for you, give you health care. That's all good. But then you don't want to do the traditional stuff like take his last name. You can't have it both ways, lady. You can't require the traditional things from a man to take care of you, to provide this covering, which is no problem with it. But then when you need to step on the ledge and you need to do something that's traditional, you don't want to do it. That's Lindy. Lindy got a whole list of stuff she wants, but nothing she want to do. But you know what? You know who picked up on it? Kristen. Kristen said to Miguel, he was Team Miguel, hold your ground about this whole not life insurance, but healthcare insurance. Even Stasha said, you know what, that's a big dot deal to put someone on your life insurance. And so it's interesting to see that the two women understood Miguel. And I understand Miguel too, but I'm not saying that in the end he shouldn't put his wife on his health insurance. But I understand saying, listen, you might want to rush changing your, might want to take it slow changing your name. I get it. But I might want to take it slow putting you on my health insurance so fast, especially with another name and you decide you don't even want to change your name to my name. Maybe the agreement is you keep your last name for now and I'll keep my health insurance. And if you really want health insurance, you can do like all the other people do here in California. You go to Covered California and you buy health care individually. Listen, I'm self-employed. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't work for no company. I don't have health care, and that's what I do. I go to Covered California and we pay health insurance through Covered California because we're entrepreneurs and business people. You could do that, Lindy, but Lindy wants stuff for free. She don't want to pay for no health care. She wants it for free. She don't want to have no real full-time job. And she want to get everything from Miguel, and she sit back and say she only want to work 20 hours or 5 hours a week or every other month. Girl, Lindy, watch my video on Lindy Miguel. I got a whole mouthful to say about her these episodes. But we couldn't go an episode without Justin crying. He started crying when they brought up the scene in the candy store. He said he admits he was being tit for tat. He was being petty with Alexis. And even Kristen said, you know, maybe Alexis overreacted a little bit too much about the dog not eating. Even Justin told the story it wasn't that the dog didn't eat at all. It was just that the dog's appetite had decreased. So instead of eating a cup full of food, he was eating half a cup of food. But you know what? I talk about this in my Justin and Alexis video too. I don't know why Alexis wasn't keeping an eye on her own dog. I don't know how all of a sudden you meet a man in 2 weeks. This man introduces your dog to a dog that attacks your dog. And then what you do is you don't never ask no questions about your dog. You just turn your whole dog over to this person, not asking no questions, not monitoring the dog's food bowl. And you want to blame Justin for not being more transparent. What about the questions? Did you ask some questions, Alexis? Alexis loves to blame and don't take no responsibility. She looking for excuses to run. And Justin sees this. And he starts crying on the after party again. Justin's heart ain't made for a person like Alexis. He actually needs a softer woman who's going to be a little bit more gentler on his heart. I think he does cry too much. I do think that. But he's going to need someone to meet him in the middle. Alexis is too much on the male domination side. Just like she had them chaps, them leather chaps in her closet. It's too much. It really is too much. But Justin told the story after that fight. Alexis went to her own house. She didn't even stay in that house. And Justin said he wasn't even going to come to the candy store. And I'm going to tell you, I saw something very interesting. When Justin was talking, Kristen was rolling her eyes hard, which tells me that Kristen is team Alexis, because we know Kristen told Alexis, I ain't never met no one like you before. She thinks the world of Alexis. Well, guess what? Something must go down, because it looks like Kristen doesn't have too much care and concern for Justin. And remember last week, Nate came down hard on Justin, so we know he ain't got the most upright respect for Justin. And this week, even though Sasha was very diplomatic, she gave him a couple of looks like, come on, Justin, don't be saying that. So it's going to be interesting to see how this evolves and what we hear about more about Justin. But I think what's going to go on, and people are going to feel like Justin's a little bit less than honest with Alexis. And so maybe they're going to feel like he looks for a sympathy card a little bit too much with his tears, which I tell you, that is a form of manipulation when you're always crying because you're always wanting someone to feel sorry for you. But hey, let me tell you, it really did look like Kristen wasn't too much liking Justin at all. But that's about it, y'all. That's what happened on the after party. Be sure to check out my videos on the individual couples and tell me what you think. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.